From a viral video to presidential decree, Somaliland moves to protect Ethiopians. A short video of youth harassing an Ethiopian boy in Hargeisa forced Somaliland's leadership into a public intervention. What began as a local incident quickly tested cross-border ties, exposing the speed of social media escalation and highlighted the fragile non-state bonds that underpin. What began as a local incident quickly tested cross-border ties, exposed the speed of social media escalation, and highlighted the fragile non-state bonds that underpin trade and migration in the Horn of Africa. I am Sarun Zamanil, and this is Analytica Today. President Dr. Abdirahman Mohamed Abdullah ordered security and judicial agencies to protect Ethiopian citizens and other foreigners after a viral video showed youths threatening an Ethiopian boy. The presidency framed the directive as a defense of Somaliland's long-standing hospitality and as a signal to Addis Ababa that migrants and traders will not be left exposed. Authorities detained several suspects, including a social media user accused of organizing the harassment, and pledged legal action under Somaliland law. The president's directive served dual purposes. Domestically, it aimed to reassure residents and market actors that state would not tolerate vigilantism, and regionally, the public statement carried diplomatic meaning. Ethiopia is a major partner for Somaliland by virtue of geography and commerce, and even as a formal recognition remains politically sensitive. Misconduct against Ethiopian nationals in Hargeisa risks creating bilateral ripples. The swift intervention therefore functioned as both law enforcement and diplomatic damage control. This episode underscores how social media transforms a local misdemeanor into a crisis within hours. Short clips travel very fast, arouse outrage, and mobilize audiences who never even witnessed the event. The amplification increases the risk of copycat behavior and offline reprisals. Somaliland's rapid arrests were an attempt to interrupt the cycle and show control. Yet enforcement alone cannot stop online narratives. Authorities must also counter misinformation and provide credible, timely updates to prevent speculation and escalation. Ethiopians are woven into Hargeisa daily as economic traders, drivers, laborers, and service providers. Their labor supports market supply chains that feed neighborhoods and sustain small businesses. Harassment of migrants, therefore, carries immediate economic costs. Suppliers may withdraw, traders might avoid certain markets, and logistics routes can become less reliable. Protecting Ethiopians is thus not a merely gesture of goodwill, but a practical step to preserve fragile commercial linkages on which many households still depend on. Arrests can calm crowds, but will not guarantee long-term trust. The critical measure is whether detentions lead to fair evidence-based persecutions. If authorities resort to arbitrary detention to appease public anger, the legitimacy of institutions will suffer. Conversely, transparent investigations, independent prosecutors, and visible safeguards for defendants and victims will strengthen Somaliland's claim to relative stability. The leadership must convert headline arrests into accountable judicial action to sustain credibility. Civil society actors highlight structural drivers that make such incidents possible: youth unemployment, limited social services, and the weaponization of identity online. Addressing these drivers requires policies beyond policing. Investment in youth programs, community mediation initiatives, and civic education can reduce the odds of repeated incidents. Without parallel social measures, arrests risk becoming cyclical and rather reactive rather than preventive. Convert viral content into prosecutable cases without infringing rights of others. Addis Ababa will track Somaliland's handling of the episode very closely. Practical cooperation on trade, movement, and security depends on reciprocal confidence that all citizens will remain protected. A credible judicial response will reassure Ethiopian traders and transporters. Perceived negligence or politicization could harden mutual trust. More broadly, the incident is a reminder that local social disputes can acquire interstate dimensions in a region where kinship and commerce across borders. The Hargeisa episode is a stress test for Somaliland's institution and for the resilience of informal cross-border ties. Quick arrests arrested the immediate momentum, but the durable solution lies in the accountable institutions, community-level prevention, and economic measures that reduce social pressure. Concrete steps including establishing a joint Ethiopia-Somaliland liaison on migrant protection, a public hotline for reporting harassment, transparent timelines for prosecutions, and donor-backed programs for youth employment and digital forensics, and community reconciliation efforts. For Ethiopia and Somaliland alike, the goal should be to turn a viral scandal into a policy moment that strengthens local practice, protects vulnerable populations, and preserves the economic and social ties that binds the neighbors. I'm Sarun, and this is Analytica Today. If you found this analysis insightful, don't forget to subscribe, share your thoughts below, and stay tuned as we track the evolving dynamics of Africa's rising giants.